Time Walk with Me.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Time Walk with me. I am the Time Walker, and you should drink some water. You probably didn't even know you were thirsty. This deck, commanded by Cadira, Caller of the Small, is very focused, but also kinda all over the place. Every card either makes tokens, supports tokens, doesn't make tokens, or is a land. The vast majority of cards make tokens and also do something else. I was going for versatility. Why just destroy an enchantment when I can destroy an enchantment and make a clue token? Cadira is a 3/3 Orc Ranger that costs 1 generic, 1 green, and 1 white mana to summon. She has Trample, and she does something that is very un-Orc-like. When she deals combat damage to a player, for each token you control, create a 1/1 white rabbit creature token. This includes rabbit tokens, so you can see this going out of control quickly. A Killer Among Us. I like a card that tells a story. This creates 3 creature tokens and makes an opponent guess which one is the killer. Beast Within. This gives a token to whoever controlled the permanent it destroyed, but that could be you. Bill the Pony. This is a decent blocker and it gives you 2 food tokens. Bovine Intervention. Like with Beast Within, this gives a token to the controller of the artifact or creature it destroys, but you could take out one of your own permanents for it. Crack Open. It's slower and more expensive to cast than Naturalize, but for a treasure token I think it's worth it. Curse of Clinging Webs. This is great if someone is playing a sacrifice themed deck. It gives you a 1/2 spider token with reach every time a non-token creature controlled by an enchanted player dies, and then it exiles the dead creature. Desolation Twin. This gives you a great creature to target with populate effects. Druid's Deliverance. Speaking of populate, here's one now. It also protects you, or someone else, from an attack. Dual Nature. Who needs Doubling Season or Anointed Procession when you can get Dual Nature for a fraction of the price? It gives you a copy of all your non-token creatures. Eleanor Gardener. She makes you some food, which is nice of her, and she can eat some food to find new lands for you. Bay Offering. This card is amazing, and I don't know why I don't hear about it more. Maybe EDH deck building has talked about it. In any case, this gives you a clue, a food, and a treasure at the end of any turn where you cast a creature and a non-creature spell. Giant Opportunity. For 3 mana, you get either 3 food tokens, or you sacrifice 2 foods to get a 7/7 giant. Glunch the Bestower. Give yourself the treasure tokens and negotiate with the other players to see who gets the other goodies. Hopeful Vigil. This gives you a 2/2 knight with vigilance and then self-destructs to let you scry 2. King Darien XLVIII, also known as 48. This guy is an Anthem who pumps himself up as he creates soldier tokens. He can also sacrifice himself to protect your creature tokens for a turn. Crovod Haunch. This can help Cadira get damage through by making her a bit stronger, and later you can eat it and pay 2 mana to make 2 1/1 dog tokens. Lassoed by the Law. This gets rid of a non-land permanent and gives you a mercenary that you can use to pump up Cadira. Either Maya or Maha, possibly Maja, I don't know, bred a guard protector. Here's another Anthem on a stick that also makes 1/1 human warriors when lands enter the battlefield under your control. Many Partings. This puts a basic land into your hand and gives you a food token. That's a bargain for 1 green mana. Knight of the Sweet's Revenge. This enchantment makes your food tokens more useful by allowing them to tap for a green mana. Then later, if you have a lot of food, it can sacrifice to pump up your creatures for a game-ending attack. On the Job. If you have a lot of creature tokens, this can pump them up enough to hand you the victory. Paw Patch Formation. This modal instant gives you 3 options. The token creation option also lets you draw a card. Prava of the Steel Legion. It would be nice if the +1/+4 also happened during opponent's turns so you could have really good blockers, but at least it makes your attacks a lot safer. Prize Fight. For 2 mana, you can get rid of a creature and get a creature token. Rampaging Baloths. This gives you a 4/4 beast whenever you get a land. Repair and Recharge. This lets you resurrect a pretty wide variety of things from your graveyard, and the Power Stone token is nice too. Return from the Wilds. If it's early in the game, you can take the land and get either a creature token or a food token. Later on, when you don't need the land as much, you can get the creature and the food. Root Out. This is almost identical to Crack Open, except you get a clue token instead of a treasure. Rootborn Defenses. This gives you a copy of a creature token you already have, and it protects all of your creatures from destruction. It's a great response to a board wipe. Royal Treatment. This protects one creature for a turn and gives it a royal roll, which is a token. Sandworm Convergence. This keeps you safe from flying creatures, and you get a 5/5 worm token during your end step. Second Breakfast. I don't see how eating cake and cookies makes you stronger, but it does. Second Harvest. This doubles all your tokens. Serpent Generator. This is an old card and probably a bad one, but I think it deserves some love. For admittedly a lot of mana, this makes 1/1 snake tokens that give poison counters to anyone they damage. This includes you, so handle them with care. Soul Foundry. This turns a creature in your hand into an endless source of token copies of that creature. Stew the Conies. This is like Prize Fight, except the creatures are fighting for food rather than money. Sundering Growth. This is pretty much a strictly better naturalize or disenchant. For 2 mana and any combination of white and or green, you destroy an artifact or enchantment and then copy one of your tokens. The Weatherseed Treaty. First you get to tutor up a basic land, then you get a 1/1 creature token, and then it doesn't really matter what it does because those first 2 things are the reason it's in this deck. They went this way. Tutor a land and then get a clue. Good deal. Tolsimir, Friend to Wolves. For 5 mana, you get a total of 6 power on the board, plus you gain 3 life, and you can kill a small creature. Tolsimir, Midnight's Light. For almost the same 5 mana as the other Tolsimir, you get 8 total power and the wolf has trample and doesn't have to fight anything. Then when they both attack together, you can make something block the wolf, clearing the way a bit for Cadira. Tauren's, Fist of the Angels. This creature gets bigger when it attacks along with something bigger, and it gives you 1/1 creature tokens that do the same. Trostani's Judgment. This gets rid of a problem creature, gets around indestructible, and gives you a copy of one of your tokens. Verdaloth the Ancient. This can kick out a whole lot of 2/2 Saproling tokens. Vitu-Ghazi Guildmage. If you have a lot of mana and really need a 3/3 creature token, you can spend the 6 mana on that. Or you can spend 4 and make a copy of any of your creature tokens. The nice thing is that she doesn't tap to use either ability, so you can use either ability as many times as you can afford in a turn. Wayfaring Temple. This elemental gets very big and copies your creature tokens when it hits someone in combat. Welcome to Sweet Tooth. I've heard that the only word in English that has 3 pairs of letters in a row is bookkeeper. Then I saw this card and thought, oh goody, that fact is wrong. But when I looked it up, Sweet Tooth isn't actually a compound word. The 2 words are generally separated. Thanks for getting my hopes up, Wizards. I'm glad I didn't sign one of your stupid eternal non-disparagement contracts. Not that one was offered to me. Wolfbriar Elemental. For every green mana you spend in addition to this elemental's mana cost, you get a 2/2 wolf token. Wolfkin Bond. For 5 mana, you add 4 power to your board and create a creature token. And Wolf's Quarry. If the 3 creature tokens this spell creates die, they're replaced with food tokens. Amara Tandris. She protects your creature tokens by preventing all damage to them. Jaheira, Friend of the Forest. She makes all your tokens tap for green mana. Pollen Shield Hare / Hair Raising. This rabbit's adventure is named after a dad joke, and it strengthens all of your tokens. And Queen Alanal of Ruadak. This lady gives you 1 more creature token whenever you would create any other creature tokens. Not every card in this deck could be on theme. To cover all the deck functions properly, I had to add these. Colossal Majesty. This gives me an extra card as long as I have a creature with power 4 or more. Firemane Commando. This incentivizes me to attack, and it incentivizes my opponents to attack people other than me. Harmonize. It's everyone's favorite color pie break, the green spell that simply gives you 3 cards for 4 mana. Harrow. Give up a land to get 2 basic lands on the battlefield. This is good when you need landfall triggers. Heaped Harvest. This tutors you a basic land when it enters the battlefield and when it's sacrificed. Caslam's Stone Tree / Caslam's Strider. This tutored you any land from the top 6 cards of your library, which means it doesn't have to be a basic land. Murasa Root Grazer. This gets you landfall triggers and puts out extra lands. Nature's Lore. For 2 mana, you get a forest that only enters tapped if you choose a land that enters tapped. Panoptic Mirror. I don't think this card should be banned, so to me it isn't. You can imprint an instant or sorcery from your hand onto this anytime, and then during your upkeep you can cast a copy of one of the spells imprinted on it for free. Yes, this can give you infinite turns with cards like Time Warp, but so what? It's not like infinite turns is hard to do. And Season of Growth. This lets you scry whenever you cast a creature spell, and draw when you cast a spell that targets one of your creatures. We got Forests and Plains, of course, Arctic Treeline, Botanical Plaza, Gingerbread Cabin, Grasslands, Strength of the Harvest / Haven of the Harvest, Crosan Verge, Pit of Offerings, Spawning Bed. This gives you 1/1 tokens that you can sacrifice without tapping them for a colorless mana each, and Thornglint Bridge. And that's it! Tell me what you think of this deck, and be sure to practice saying Asmerano Mardica Daistina Koldakar at least 10 times a day so you can say it at parties and impress everyone. I'll see you next time.